Here I go sharing super personal stuff on the internet again. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Marissa, for those of you who are new. If you are new, do the whole like, do the whole subscribe thing so that you can continue watching videos, and also I just feel like that's what YouTubers say. So, today I wanted to sit down and talk about something that has been on my mind for a little bit, something that I've been doing some research into, and then while I was doing research into it, I actually connected with a company that is sort of helping with it. So I'm one of those people who believe in, like, one of the cheesy sayings that I always believe in and always have believed in is that everything happens for a reason. And so I feel like when this company reached out in the midst of my research, I was like, okay, all right, God, I hear you, I see you, I get it. So I'm talking about fertility, I'm talking about egg freezing, I'm talking about everything that goes along with conceiving and babies and the whole 9 yards. And I know you're probably thinking, well, Marissa, you don't have a baby, you don't even have a boyfriend, and that's kind of the point. So, it's no secret that I have been sort of in the dating world, and it's something that I joke about and talk about pretty openly, and have no problem with that. But I'm also the kind of person who has always seen myself having kids one day. I have that like maternal instinct. I love being around children. I love teaching dance classes, gymnastic classes. I was like a camp counselor growing up. Like I love interacting with children. I love mentoring them. I love just the like joy of life that they have. And so I always pictured myself one day having kids, and I have a brother. I love my brother to death. And so, it was kind of interesting because I always saw myself having 2 kids. And now the older that I get, I could see myself potentially just having 1, but you never know. And the bottom line is that I'm not getting any younger. So I'm in that stage of life where you log on to Facebook or Instagram or social media, and everyone that I went to high school with and graduated with are either on their first or second child. They're doing those gender reveal parties and the whole 9 yards. And I always feel like, I almost feel like I'm missing out on something, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but I also feel like I'm definitely 120% not in a place where I'm interested or would be able to take care of a child right now. So if it is something that's gonna happen, it's not gonna be something that happens anytime soon. But like I said, I just turned 28 2 months ago. And so, there's these studies and research that show that basically whenever you hit the age of 30, there's a pretty significant drop off in terms of fertility and chances of being able to conceive. And then obviously the older that you get, all the way up to sort of like 35, we're in an age where there is like technology. You've got IVF, and I feel like we're very blessed because people who used to not be able to have children are now being able to. But for me, it is something that I've definitely thought about. My mom had trouble conceiving both my brother and I. She was on, injections and hormones and all sorts of things trying to conceive with us. And so it's always something that I've been curious about, like, how is that going to affect me whenever it does come time to have kids, or if that's something that I want to do down the road. And there's just a lot of things that I don't know. So I started looking into, a couple of different options. I was talking to a friend and she was like, well, have you heard of freezing your eggs? And I was like, yeah, actually, I've seen some documentaries and some videos on it. And I started doing a little bit more research into it pretty seriously, just because, like I said, right now I'm not even dating anyone, and so the chances of me meeting someone, dating, getting married, finding a house, getting, pregnant, and then having a child, like, we're talking like many years down the road from now. And so if I'm gonna be past 30 and if I'm gonna be pushing 35, is that something that, like, should I be doing that now? Like, is that something that I should even start like considering? And I don't know, it's a lot. Like, a lot. So in the midst of my breakdown, I got an email from a company called Modern Fertility, and it's this like super badass company organization that it's kind of like, the best thing I could describe it is almost like a 23andMe for fertility in the sense that it's an all-in-one kit that they mail to you. You take it on the 3rd day of your period, and then you do the test, you mail it back, and then in your inbox there's all this information about where you are and your hormone levels and eggs and counts and all sorts of data that just like shows up right to your inbox. And I feel like that, knowledge is power, and I feel like it's super empowering to be able to know, okay, here's where I'm at, here's a potential timeline I'm thinking about of what I want. And then I can go from there to sort of decide what I want to do. If I decide to do anything, I don't know. It's all still very early for me, but I'm glad that there's a company out there that is, like I said, empowering women to take control and get information and do it in a very private and accessible way. So they reached out, I went onto their website. Basically, you fill out a little bit of information about if you are on birth control, if you're not on birth control, where you are in your life stage. Are you trying to conceive? Are you thinking of having children? Do you never want children? Like, what is your, sort of like life plan as of now? They take a little bit more information. It's super quick, super easy. And then my kit got put into the mail and sent to my house. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through the rest of the process from here, and then whenever I get my results back, we can go over those together. All right, so we are on day 3 of my cycle, which means that we can go ahead and start testing today. It says, hi, we are here to walk you through collecting your sample. It's got all of the instructions here, along with everything that should be in this kit. Oh, how cute is that? All right, let's open up this bad boy. We've got biohazard stuff. Looks like we've got alcohol prep pad, the Lancets, and let's see, oh, some test tips. All right, so let me get this open and then I'll check back in. Okay, so here are all of the supplies that it comes with. It looks like a lot, but it's actually not too hard. Basically, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to prick your finger with one of these Lancets and then drop a drop of blood on here, and you'll know that you have enough because it'll go to this line. I'm actually going to use a Lancet. My brother is diabetic, so I'm going to use one of his rather than these because I think that I'll get more blood with it. It comes with Band-Aids. These are the bags that you put each of the cards in when you're done, and this is where you can dispose of any of the stuff with blood on it. So here we go. Okay, so I've got my test strips, I think, good to go. So these are supposed to dry for, I think they say an hour, and then it says that you're supposed to send them on the same day, that you don't want to wait more than 24 hours. So I did actually go ahead and use these Lancets as opposed to this one because the other ones weren't deep enough. You can kind of see on my finger here. Is it gonna get in focus? Anyway, so these are actually way better. You just pop the top off and then squeeze it and push down, and it'll give you way more blood. You just have to be really patient when it comes to actually dripping onto the cards. So I'm gonna package these up. Bodhi, stop it, I'm trying to film. I'm gonna package these up whenever they dry, and I will keep you posted. All right, we've got everything that we need in the bag, and time to ship it off. Why am I nervous? I just got an email saying that my results are in, and all I have to do is log on and view them. Why don't... Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have our results here, and I'm very pleased, actually. It's super interesting. I'll insert some screenshots of my actual dashboard so that you guys can see them, but basically this says, "Good afternoon, Marissa," and whenever you log on, you scroll down It has all of my results and they're all color coded, and basically everything came back within normal range except for my FSH level, which they say is slightly high. And of course, whenever I logged on, I was like, oh my gosh, like what does that mean? Like, I have no idea. But they actually break it all down for you. So if I scroll down, it says that you have an average number of eggs for your age. You may reach menopause around the age of 51. That's really interesting. A doctor would expect to retrieve slightly fewer eggs in a single treatment cycle if I were to go about doing egg freezing or IVF, which is certainly really interesting because when you're factoring in cost, is it something that I'm gonna be able to do once? Based on this, it leads me to believe I might have to do it 2 or potentially 3 times in order for them to get the appropriate amount of eggs. So that's definitely really interesting. It says my AMH level is normal. So if you scroll down and it says your FSH level is slightly high, this means that FSH might be trying to stimulate extra follicles. If paired with a very low AMH, it can be a sign of decreased ovarian reserve, but otherwise it's not typically a concern. So basically, after all of the research on here that I've done, it sort of just means that based on my age, my body is trying to ramp up the follicles production so that I can produce more eggs and then therefore would be able to get pregnant if I wanted to. It says that my E2 level is normal. It says nothing out of the ordinary is expected to affect ovulation. What else? Your TSH and FT4 are normal and don't suggest any thyroid issues. So anyways, it gives you so much information on here. There's also a graph that you can download and print it out so that you can bring it to your doctor's office, which is what I'm planning on doing. I have an appointment in 2 weeks, so I'll go ahead and bring this with me. And yeah, you can also, so that's on the results tab. If you go over to the reports section, it will pull each individual result that it got, and it gives you so much information, so much data based on what it would mean. So I've got 12 results here, 12 reports that talk about ovarian reserve, menopause, PCOS, ovulation, egg freezing, thyroid. So I can go through each one and find out how my results compare to what is normal. So good news, it seems that, everything for the most part is pretty normal with the exception of that one level, which is really great to know. It's definitely good to know moving forward. I can do more research into it. I can talk to my doctor about it. There's also a way that you can contact a doctor through this site so that if you do have any questions, they can help you out, which I also think is really, really helpful. So this is Modern Fertility. I hope this has helped you out. I know it definitely has helped me out. I'm going to leave all of the links below so that you guys can do the research on your own and let me know if you try it out because I think this is really cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.